Hello, my loves. How are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining me for this week's message. This is going to be a timeless message, which means that whenever you receive it, whenever you watch this video, that this is meant for you. As always, remember, this is a general reading, so please take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. Today, we are going to be focusing on what I have developed for my course, From Surviving to Thriving, How to Manifest Your Dream Life. It is a scientifically designed course, and one of the principles behind it are the 3 R's. I teach you how to release, to reconstruct, and reprogram your vessel, your being, in order to become a master manifester and manifest the life that you truly desire. So you can go from just making it, from surviving to fully flourishing, okay? And so in today's reading, we're going to do the same thing for healing for anyone who is watching the video. We're going to talk about what it is that Spirit thinks that we need to release at this time. Just let it go, get it out of our lives. We're going to talk about what it is that we need to reconstruct, which means we may need to tweak it or change it or modify it in some way in our lives. And then we're going to talk about what we need to do to reprogram, which means after we have cleared ourselves, what are we putting back in? What are we instilling in ourselves? What do we need at this time? So we're going to pull 3 cards today to see what the message is. I thank you so much for joining me. And if this message resonates with you, please be so kind as to hit that subscribe button or turn on the notifications so that when I do post these videos, you can get your messages delivered right to you when it is time for you to receive those. If you would like more information about my course, please go to my website, www.madebymetools.com/course, or you can just go to .com and click through the navigation buttons. Our next course is going to be enrolling because they enroll every month. Our next course is going to be enrolling from September 28th to October 4th. So make sure that you are enrolling with our class because this is a highly beneficial class, a class that delivers lots of value and you don't want to miss it, okay? Oh, we got cards jumping. So Spirit, please tell us what we need to release, to reconstruct, and to reprogram in our lives right now. All right. So for release, we have the 3 of Cups card here. Okay. Some people are coming to a part of your journey where you are going to have to do things by yourself, right? You may be used to having a support system your whole life, or you may have recently had a support system that is holding you down, and that's great. But there are parts of your journey that only you will be able to tread, okay? You can have that support, you can have that encouragement, you can have that motivation from your tribe, from your family and friends, but there's certain things that only you can do, only you can know, only you can experience. So what a lot of people are releasing are either trying to go through life with other people, listening to other people's opinions or other people's advice on how they should do certain things. And your test in life right now is how to trust your own intuition, how to test your own gut, right? If you believe you should do it, then do it. If you don't believe you should do it, then don't do it, right? But to keep asking, like a lot of you are being hindered because unless you get the opinion of your mom and your best friend and your sister and your distant cousin, and unless they're all, unanimous in telling you that you should do a certain thing, you definitely kind of like recoil into yourself. That's for some of you. For some of you, you're not accepting. See, I got a 50-50 split here. For some of you, you're not accepting. You're used to walking paths by yourself, right? Getting everything done by yourself. Putting everything on your shoulders and going to war by yourself. And the universe said, you asked me for help. You asked me to send you people, helpful people. You asked me to send you resources. You asked me to send you opportunities. And I did that. But you're still so much in survival mode. You're still so much in warrior mode that you're not accepting the gifts from the universe. You're not accepting help. You may be a control freak. You may feel as though you may have safety within control. You may feel more safe when you're in control of everything, or you may feel like if I want this right, I have to do it myself. But especially those who are on a spiritual path, those who are teachers or healers or empaths or witches or manifestors, right? Those who are seekers, who go on those journeys by yourself. You may be coming out of a period of spiritual solitude. You may be coming out of a dark night of soul. And what awaits for you is help. But you don't know how to take it because you've been on your own for so long, okay? So now is the time, depending on where you are on that spectrum. You know yourself. You know if you're the kind of person who puts everything on your back and you do things by yourself. If you're that person, it's time to release that and accept the help and support that the universe is sending you. If you are someone who is very family oriented, you never like to be by yourself. You distract yourself by being with your friends, being at clubs, being at parties, being around people. You're always around, you're a social butterfly. Then now is the time where I feel like that needs to be peeled away from you, and you need to see what life is like by yourself. You need to face yourself, because there's also some things that you can't see about yourself. There's some aspects of healing that can't be done unless you block off the outside world, unless you hermit yourself for a little bit, okay? Unless you are your own support system, okay? Because that's training for the future. Because if there's ever a moment where you got to do it for yourself, where there's nobody else, you know, you got to be self-motivated, you have to be disciplined, you have to be determined. You're not going to cultivate those skills because you're so dependent on other people, okay? So that's something that needs to be released, depending on where you are, and you know where you are, okay? When we're talking about what needs to be reconstructed, changed, or modified, okay, the first thing that I'm hearing is what a family is, what a home life is, and what it should be. There are some ideals that have been planted in our head from our families that we grew up in, from religion, what religion will tell you about how men should be, how women should be, how children should be, spare the rod, spoil the child. There is society that judges, are you a breastfeeding mom, or did you go right back to work? Do you spend every waking second with your children, or do you have a nanny? You know, no matter what you do, you're going to get criticized, okay? No matter what it is you do in life, you're going to get criticized, which is why when I work with my clients, when I work with people in my tribe, the first thing you have to do is not give a damn about what anybody else thinks. Like, that's I feel like every spiritual journey is unique, and we all have like the same kind of themes that go along our spiritual journey. But I feel like before you even start the journey, like the basic thing they should give you, you know, the axe, the tool, you know, the backpack full of tools, the first tool that should be given to you in your spiritual journey is that you should stop caring what other people think, because there's always going to be somebody who goes against what you think, okay? I think everybody should live their lives the way that they should live their lives. I have certain standards, ideals, and beliefs, but I don't push those on to anybody else. Why? Because I don't expect people to push their beliefs and their opinions onto me. If I mind my business and I tell you, go ahead, live your life the way you want to, then you better give me that same courtesy, you know? So there's some people who are flailing right now because you're like, oh my God, I need to be, or I should be. You're using that, you're shoulding all over yourself, okay? I should be doing this. I should be doing that. I should be having my kids out more. I should be having my kids to bed at a certain time. I should be able to run a business and be sexy for my husband and cook and keep this house immaculate. I should. If you're a man, I should be able to provide. I should be stronger than this. I should be able to, I should be married by now. I should have had 2 kids by now. If that's not what happened, if this is where you are now, then be where you are now. Be in the present, okay? You will lead yourself into depression by trying to think of what the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? It didn't happen that way for a reason, and you are exactly where you need to be. So some people are comparing themselves, and I just talked about this in my reading that I did on my Instagram page, and my Instagram information is listed below, but I am Messages by Me on Instagram if you'd like to check me out. And I also have a Made Ministries, Made_Ministries page on Instagram where I do daily card pulls if you would like to check that out. So some of you are like, I can see men right now, like men are like, by this age, my father had this, that, and the third, you know, or by this age, my father was making X amount every year, and I'm nowhere near that, you know, or women, by this time, my mom had 3 kids, and I'm over here, I don't know what to eat, you know, every night, I barely know how to take care of myself, let alone think about having some kids, you know. So this is the ideal home life, okay? This is when you feel stable, when you feel secure. The modification here comes when you need to redefine your definition of success, of happiness, of what family means. You and your dog, you and your iguana, You guys are a family. You and your 3 cats, you guys are a family. That's a family. To be rich is to have enough food on your table, to be able to treat yourself out to nice things occasionally, to have a roof over your head, to have a bed to sleep in, to have clothes on your back. That is rich, okay? You don't need, if you want $20 million, go get it. Manifest that shit, right? But you don't need $20 million to be happy. You don't need $20 million to take care of yourself. You don't need $20 million to be rich. You have to redefine that definition for yourself. Parenting, I'm seeing a lot of parenting. Listen, honey, parenting is unique as a snowflake. You can take advice and ideas from other people, but you don't have to be the same kind of parent as Beth or as Carla or as Dominique. You don't have to be them. You have to be your kind of parent, okay? If you don't want your kids to have sugar, don't give them sugar. If you let your kids have a brownie after every meal, let your kids have a brownie after every meal. If you don't like to have your kids watch TV, then don't. If the TV is like the secondary babysitter while you're getting stuff done, then that's what it is, okay? So stop comparing how your parents were to you. Stop comparing the parents on Instagram, the parents on these TV sitcoms. Be the best parent that you can be, okay? Redefine parenting, okay? You may be redefining going from an authoritative parenting method to more of a conscious parenting method as well. Just because you were raised a certain way does not mean you have to raise your children a certain way, okay? So do what's best for you. That's the lesson here. Do what's best for you. And then when we're talking about reprogramming, right? We get the Knight of Swords. It's time to go get it, okay? Of course, whenever you feel the need to rest, right? But you also have to have balance. Remember, balance. You can't just be like, oh my God, I cooked one thing and I feel the need to rest. But you can, because people have different situations. People have different diseases and illnesses which cause them to have extreme fatigue. And if your body is telling you to sleep, then your body is telling you to sleep, or your body is telling you to rest. There's also people who suffer from depression, and I suffer from that myself. I go through my bouts of depression. Depression will suck all of the life out of you, no matter how ambitious your brain is telling you to be, no matter how productive you're telling yourself you're going to be when you wake up. With depression, sometimes you wake up and you're already ready for bed. You did one thing, it's hard. You get in the shower and then I just want to go to sleep, So if that's the case, I'm not talking to you, you know what I'm saying? And we still want to honor our ancestors and ourselves by getting the proper rest that we need. But if you are a healthy individual, right? If you have balanced your energies between being, productive and taking the rest, that's what I'm talking to. It's time to shift into the mode of going after the things that we wanted, okay? This is air energy, right? So it's definitely talking about making those communications. Make that phone call, send that email, send that check, send that letter, right? Or receive it, like finally open up that email that you've been waiting for. Open up the email to the application for whatever program, this kind of a thing, okay? But you need to be proactive. We were in a state about 3 weeks ago, strong, where it was like rest. It was like that Four of Swords energy. And the Four of Swords is about taking naps. It's about rejuvenation. It's about chilling out. It's about honoring those feelings. This Knight of Swords is to go after, but also have a plan, because the Knight of Swords, he's very impulsive, okay? You want to have a plan. You want to be logical, right? You want to, and that's what I said. When we were in the energy of relaxing, I said plan, plan, plan. Because when the doors open, you'll be able to run after the things that you want in life, right? So if you took advantage of that time of rest and you use that to plan, now that the energy is shifting, all you have to do is execute the plan. If you did not take advantage of that planning time, you may be running after something and you really don't know, what it is you're trying to accomplish, and that could be bad, okay? Like, don't show, I want this job, I'm going to show up at the boss's office today, and I'm going to demand that he give me a job. That's probably not the way to go about it, right? But if you want to send him an email every day, or drop off donuts to his secretary for him, or schmooze him in some way, but don't do anything that's very impulsive. Also, if you're not the best linguist, if you're not the most articulate person, you really want to think about your words when you are executing your plans, because if you say the wrong thing, it could deny you an opportunity. It could cause an argument or a miscommunication, right? But now is the time. What we're instilling in ourselves is some discipline, is some passion, is some drive, right? This is what we're putting into ourselves. We got to go get it. We rest. Just like everything is a cycle. Sometimes there's small cycles, there's weekly cycles, right? Where you may go through a whole range of emotions from Monday to Sunday. Sometimes it's monthly, yearly, lifetime cycles, right? There's different, and one does not negate the other, right? So you may be going through a couple different, see these circles behind me? A couple different cycles at the same time, okay? So with this, you want to make sure, you know, that it's targeted. See, he has that archery, a bow and arrow on his back, right? You want to make sure that it's targeted energy to what your energy is going towards, right? Don't just be out here willy-nilly and then don't be all over the place. Like, I want a job, so, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to try after this job. If you missed the planning phase, do a little outline right now, okay? Get yourself a little outline right now and then start executing. But don't just go, right? Don't just go and not know where you're going, because what happens when you go places you don't know where you're going? You get lost, okay? So plan it out, all right? But this is what we're putting into ourselves. Logic. Air energy, that's that Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy. It's being logical about what you can go after and how you can go after, okay? It's being strategic, okay? Because the Knight is very impulsive. He's on the younger side of things. Don't be out here acting like a teenager, all right? When you want something, you can just take it. No, there's levels to this, boo. There's steps to this that you have to take, but take them, because now is the time to go after the things that you want. Some of you are very stuck in your comfort zone. This motorcycle represents getting out of that comfort zone, whether that means a figurative comfort zone or whether that means that you have to literally move or relocate in order to experience the new blessings and bounty that the Lord has prepared in front of you, okay? So this is the release, reconstruct, reprogram model, the same model that I use for my class, my course. It's designed on psychological change, on behavioral change, and on convictional change, which is your belief system. So check it out. Sign up for the email list so that you can get the notification, so that you can stay up to date. Also follow me on Instagram. If you'd like a personal reading, the information is below in the description box. And I thank you all so much for joining me. Peace out.